Limpopo in sharp focus. The January 8th statement takes place today. It's the ANC's 110th anniversary. We want to break it down for you in terms of what we can expect from the ANC president. He's scheduled to give the NEC statement, the January 8th statement, at 1 o'clock. We expect that. Let's bring in the better minds to help us break this down. We are joined via Zoom by political analyst Brutus Malada, as well as Dr. Jolene Steyn-Kotze. To both of you, thank you very much indeed for making the time this morning.
Thank you very much.
To start with you, the January 8th statement, basically outlines the party's program for the year. It sets the tone for the State of the Nation address. What major issues should the ANC president emphasize today?
I think there's a number of critical areas in order to really start building. For me, what would be quite important are questions of political trust. So, addressing very, very uncomfortable questions and conversations around, for example, the Zondo report that is starting to being released, restoring some semblance of faith in the governing ability of the ruling party, and almost taking it back, so to speak, to the values for which the party originally stood quite strongly for. And again, as I had said yesterday, I find it quite ironic that the January 8th statement is happening in Polokwane. And if you kind of go back to the 2007 ANC conference that was hailed as a watershed moment for the ANC when Jacob Zuma became leader of the party, I think we are almost coming full circle again, where this is yet another watershed moment for the ANC to really restore confidence in the political party.
Brutus Malada, the first part of the state capture report has been released. The ANC put out a statement saying the party's National Executive Committee will put in place mechanisms to process any part of the Commission's report that pertains to the organizations, its deployees, its members. I just wonder, what impact is that process likely to have on the party?
Yeah, look, firstly, I just wanted to say the January 8th statement, traditionally it's the time in which the president sets the tone for the year. But that tone has already been set when you look at the events that have unfolded over the past few days. So it seems like it will be a year that will be characterized by chaos and terror and inefficient government. So corruption, which is at the center of the ANC government, will also be a major issue. So now dealing with the state capture report, it's going to have serious implications for the ANC. We will need to see, the public would be waiting to see whether the ANC, as it goes into the elective conference this year, whether it will still be retaining the people that have actually been singled out in this part of the report. So we are expecting more reports to come to implicate a number of ANC leaders. So we are waiting to see whether the ANC will stand firm and serious about corruption. What it will do, if it retains the people that are implicated in state capture, it would mean the end of the ANC.
The pushback, Mr. Malada, that you would get from ANC members is that they have the capacity to self-correct. This was said by the Deputy President yesterday. No doubt the party will trumpet its resilience over the last 110 years. The ANC Deputy President, David Mabuza, said yesterday that the ANC will never die because it has the capacity to self-correct. I want to pick this up with you, Brutus, in a short while. We have a press briefing currently happening in Limpopo. Let me take that. We'll come back to you, Jolene, as well as Brutus. Please stand by. Let's go now to Limpopo.
Don't you want to become the SG again?
I'm waiting for a conference to return me there.
Or to be the president?
No, that is lousy.
Okay. Mr. Mashatile, how is it in the preparations to this build-up, acting in this position? In my little knowledge of politics, you've never been a secretary before of a structure, but this time around you are the acting Secretary General of the ANC. How is it preparing this occasion as you're at the forefront of it?
I was actually the General Secretary of the UDF Southern Transvaal and the Secretary of the ANC for the PWV region. So I was Secretary before. But let me say, colleagues, firstly that we welcome you this morning. And we want to thank you most sincerely for the positive coverage that you have been giving to our January 8 activities. I know that you have been here since Monday, some of you, Tuesday. You followed us all over the province in different regions, covering all the stories. Today is the actual day. Today is January 8th, day in which we celebrate the 110 years. Today is actually the real day where we celebrate the 110 years. We have decided that because of the COVID situation, we won't do a big rally. As you can see, in terms of the COVID protocols, we are limited to 2,000 people. So there won't be more than 2,000 people here. As you can see, we do need to comply. So we'll have 2,000 people from branches, guests, and everybody else so that we comply. But we want to try and celebrate it properly. The main issue for us today will be the presentation of the January 8th statement by the President. That's the message that will then give the ANC members and society generally the direction of what are the challenges and the plans for the coming year. So we are awaiting the President to be here around 11 o'clock, and then we will start with the event. I mean, there will be messages of support from some of the alliance partners, but really the main message will come from the President.
You know the challenges facing South Africa. People have told you openly issues of service delivery, eradicate corruption. You seem to be struggling with those, and people are fast losing patience and hope with ANC. How is this January 8th statement going to be different?
Well, one of the things the President is going to address the issues of service delivery. You know that at the dinner yesterday he did hint to the fact that he will talk about issues of economy, he will talk about issues of service delivery. So it's all in the speech. We are here not only to talk about the ANC, we are here to talk about issues affecting the nation, and it's all in the President's speech.
The nation wants to know how the ANC will deal with the implementation of the Zondo Commission recommendations on state capture. Some of your members are implicated, and part 2 and part 3 of that is coming. Gwede Mantashe is here, and other people like Zizi Kodwa are also here. How is the ANC going to implement the recommendations of the Zondo Commission? Mkwati, please answer for yourself.
No, I'm not answering for myself. I'm not charged, so I'm not in court. We went to the Zondo Commission. I represented the ANC 3 times to the Zondo Commission. So if I represent the ANC in the Zondo Commission, it doesn't mean that therefore I'm implicated. I talk about the deployment committee, I talk about many things. That's the responsibility of a Secretary General of my time. Now, we will deal with that report. One thing that I was raising with the TG, I said to the TG, one mistake that we normally commit is to pretend as if we have the authority to arrest, to prosecute and convict. That's not our duty, that's the duty of the institutions. Our responsibility is to deal with the fragmented ANC and rebuild it, reunite it. That is our responsibility. Arresting, prosecuting, convicting is institutional responsibility. We must not make it ours.
What did you mean when you said the report must not be used to target certain ANC leaders?
What I mean is that I must not go to the report and look for the name of Paul Mashatile and go around and say, you see Comrade Mashatile here, let's deal with him. No. He is in the report of a judicial commission of inquiry. It will be dealt with institutionally, and that's what we should wait for, and not use it to settle our own scores internally. We must use it to correct the weaknesses, to correct the mistakes we have committed, and rebuild the ANC, strengthen it.
Mr. Mantashe, were you saying that in anticipation that you may be linked to wrongdoing when it comes to African Global Operations, formerly known as Busasa, and the allegations at the Zondo Commission against you and the likes of Papali Shaban?
But I don't know whether Busasa is the state. That report is about state capture. No, wait. The ANC didn't give any tenders. The ANC didn't give any tenders. Ministers gave tenders. Ministers of the state. Ministers
don't give tenders. It's the function of the state and the various officials
of the state issued tenders. Whether that minister is from a different party, there were many ministers who are not ANC ministers. So ministers are the ministers of the state. So don't take that and take it to Lutule House. And the ANC must yourselves in this attempt to take everything and throw it at Lutule House.
Both of you are available for re-election during the elective congress?
No, there's no nomination yet. That's not open yet.
The nominations are not yet open.
There are no nominations.
But people are talking about succession.
Wait.
Mr. Mantashe, there are issues leveled against the chairperson of your province in the Eastern Cape, Oscar Mabuyane. Branches in that province are going to regional conferences, and we've seen slates of people like Babalo Matigizela contesting. Should the ANC act, and why is it not acting against Mr. Mabuyane?
Your problem, Maseko, is that you want to be a faction of the ANC. Leave it to the factions of the ANC to sort themselves out, not you as a journalist. Person, don't mingle national battles in the ANC. Leave them to us, okay?
ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa get a second term?
I don't know.
Well, it's not a bad idea. It's a good idea.
Mantashe says he doesn't know. You say it's no.
I'm saying it's idea.
He doesn't know us either.
Those are the officials of the ANC. There have been issues with the various leaders of the ANC all across the country, issues of corruption that are there leveled against various leaders named in the State Capture Commission report. Peter Mantashe had issues with African Global Operations, formerly trading as Busasa, and we are being told now that the Deputy President of the ANC is entering with his motorcade on the other side there, moving in as the ANC moves in to go with the issues of factions in that province and dealing with issues relating to state capture. But we are now going to link to our various colleagues, and also the president of the ANC is going to be coming in any moment from now.
Well, thank you so much, Samgel. I'm actually joined now by the first Deputy President of COSATU, Mike Shingang. He's also the President of NEHAU. Of course, you know that he's a part of the Tripartite Alliance, and we'll just be having a conversation with him. Mr. Shingang, thank you so much for joining us on SABC News. The January 8th statement comes at a time where the ANC is facing a number of challenges within the party, not only factionalism, but some of its members have been fingered in the State Capture Commission report, which has been released. At the backdrop of all that's been happening, what are you expecting the president of the ANC to actually say? And were there any consultations with COSATU on today's January 8th statement speech?
No, thank you very much. You will know that the January 8th and the statement in particular is the statement of the African National Congress, NEC. So we will not have expected to be contested on what to say, but the NEC will have approved that. For our part, in terms of our expectation, is that the president must now give the message of hope to South Africans for the year ahead because of the task of the ANC to renew and bring hope to South African people. That's a message that we are expecting, including, of course, giving assurance that those of our movement that have been fingered with the report, the law is going to take its course, and all and sundry must respect it. So it is really expectation and good big anticipation on our part of the message that is going to come from President. We are very confident that we will live here having a hope of the future of the movement.
Mr. Shinganga, you talk about renewal, but I mean, is renewal not a rhetoric now within the ANC? We keep on hearing the message of renewal, rebuilding the ANC. It's been said time and time again. But when will this actually happen?
Look, it's a process. Any organization as big as ours will have to undergo some ups and downs. But at the same time, renewal, it's slow, it's painful, again, because it has to also to unlearn some of the things that we have learned that are wrong. Also, you have to deal with people with whom you have been in the trenches together. You have to part ways with friends. So it's not an easy thing. We think it's a process, but we can see that the NEC is not sitting on their laurels. They are trying to act on the resolution of Nazareth, of renewing the movement. And we think as we move ahead, even to the next conference, the same is going to happen.
Do you think that the ANC has championed the rights of workers?
Sorry?
Do you think that the ANC has championed the rights of workers in South Africa?
The ANC as an organization has its character, the one alongside the labor movement that fought for the rights of the workers. But there's no denial that as in government led by the ANC today, those rights are actually under threat. And we hope that sooner than later, the ANC will have to wake up and know that they are the shield of workers. They are the ones who are supposed to defend the rights of workers, because in fact it is them who put them in the labor legislation and in the constitution. So yes, they have to champion. They have no choice, because that's the only way we know. Otherwise, they're going to lose the support of workers. The workers are not going to continue to support something that is not in their interest. It is not in the interest of workers that their rights are being undermined, and we hope the ANC understands that thing by now.
Going back to the State Capture Commission reports that's been released, I mean, the topic or the questions that we've been posing to ANC leaders this week was, do they think that it will, fragment, this report will fragment and deeply divide the ANC further?
We don't think it should divide the ANC further. Remember, it was the ANC itself that agreed and supported the fact that the State Capture Commission must be there. It was the president of the ANC himself, the former president, who launched the commission. It's the only way that society can know that the ANC is serious about cleansing the malfeasance in the ANC. So the ANC is supportive. It can't be divided. The masses, the members of the ANC in general, they are waiting in eagerness to find out what is in the report, what has happened to our state institutions, because when the state institutions are decapacitated, it is the population that is suffering in terms of getting the service deliveries when they're weakened. So it's in the interest of the ANC so that the state institutions are strengthened, so that it can continue to fulfill its mandate of transforming the lives of our people. Without that, it manifesto, it doesn't work in the paper it's written on.
Thank you so much for your time. Of course, Blaine, that was the first Deputy President of COSATU, Mr. Mike Shingang, and the President of NEHAWU, just unpacking certain issues, their expectations from President Cyril Ramaphosa today. Of course, he will be delivering that address at 1 o'clock, and the ANC's official program has started. With that said, Blaine, I hand back to you in studio.
All right, Natasha, we'll keep one eye on your visuals. Stand by. We'll come back to you shortly. Look, it's a busy week.